Hey guys, sorry, not
Hey guys, welcome to Cricket Fanatics magazine. And today we are going to be doing our preview for the test series because you guys won't see me again till after Christmas, seeing that Christmas is on the weekend. So we are going to be doing a preview of the test series, and I'm going to be also talking to you guys about an announcement that happened earlier today surrounding Dean Algar and his retirement from Test cricket. So it is going to be an interesting show. It's going to be all about Test cricket today, and we're going to discuss everything that has to do with that particular series. It's obviously going to be quite a intense series against India. They are not easy opponents. They are going to be difficult opponents, and they're going to be back to full strength again. And South Africa is going to have to really put up a fight and show their capabilities in these matches and show what they can do with regards to that. But before we get going and before we get started, there's a couple of things I'd like you guys to please do. First and foremost, subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell for all future videos. We're on the road to 5,000 subscribers at the moment, and we are very close. So please continuously try and help us get there. We are trying to push to get to that milestone. That's the next big milestone for the YouTube channel. You guys can also subscribe to Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to inbox every month. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. And you get every single back issue as well, 100% free. So please get involved with that as well. And we have recently launched something very exciting. We have launched the Cricket Fanatics magazine Business Corner. We started the Business Corner for one particular reason: to help you market your business products and services effectively and affordably to a cricket audience. We are the only viable option if you want to market to a cricket audience in South Africa. So send this to any shop owners you know, any entrepreneurs, any business owners, any coaches, academy owners, club owners, etc. Send them to this landing page. Let them read through. Let them book an appointment with us, and we can discuss ways of helping them move forward and market their business effectively and affordably for what their needs are in this difficult digital climate. Cricket, as is in a difficult space at the moment where a lot of businesses have closed down. Cricket South Africa has been in debt. We can see how cricket businesses and all type of things in cricket, even organizations as well, franchises are struggling, clubs are struggling. So this is a perfect way for you guys to get involved with us so that we can help you market and your products, businesses and services effectively, and your organization and your brand effectively to a cricket audience. And we're the only viable option for that. So please get involved here with that. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. I am looking forward to discussing this with you guys. Hey guys, welcome to Cricket Fanatics magazine, and this is your preview daily show. I'm your host Khalid Mahidin, and this is the show where we talk all things Test cricket ahead of the Test series between South Africa and India. It's going to be a Boxing Day Test, and it's going to be exciting. It's going to be something that we are really looking forward to, I think, as a cricket public, etc. And it is a game that is must win. It's a series that is must win for South Africa as well. There's going to be a lot of pressure on the on the team, but to an extent, I think that we should maybe just step off the pressure over there and just take our foot off the gas when it comes to criticizing. This team is clearly going to be in a transition very soon. Like I said earlier on in the show, Dean Elgar has announced his retirement. So that is a big story that we need to discuss on the channel right now. Um, it is a massive, massive um, story that broke this morning. That not a lot of us, some of us expected it. We were talking about it for quite some time on the channel. I said I heard um, muttering around this topic, and there was some questions around whether he will retire after the series or not, or whether he'll play just that New Zealand series. That was the two questions that we had to ask when it came to this. But we got this announcement today from Cricket South Africa. Proteas batter Dean Elgar has today announced that he will retire from international cricket following the Betway Test series against India. Elgar will fittingly end his international career with the two Test matches, the first to be played at his home ground, Supersport Park in Centurion from 26th to 30th December, and the second at the venue where he scored his first Test runs, Newlands Cricket Ground in Cape Town from the 3rd to the 7th of January. The 36-year-old has represented South Africa in 84 Tests and 8 one-day internationals during a career that has spanned 12 years. Since making his Test debut against Australia in 2012, he has gone on to score over 5,000 runs at an average of 37.28, including 13 centuries and a career best 199 against Bangladesh in 2017. His contributions with the bat and gritty performances earned him the role of Test captain from May 2021 to January 2023, where he led the side to third place in the second edition of the ICC World Test Championship, with a notable 2-1 series win over India at home in January 2022. Elgar said, "Playing the game of cricket has always been a dream of mine, but having the opportunity to represent your country is the ultimate. Having had the privilege to do it for 12 years internationally is simply beyond my wildest dreams. It has been an incredible journey that I have been fortunate enough to have. As they say, all good things come to an end, and the India home series will be my last, as I have made the decision to retire from our beautiful game, a game that has given me so much. The Cape Town Test will be my last, my favorite stadium in the world. A play I scored, a place I scored my first Test runs against New Zealand, and hopefully my last too. Having the opportunity to represent my country and the learnings I've had along my journey is something I'll always be thankful for. It's most definitely been the best learning experience of my life." He goes on to say, "To my dad and mom and my brother, wow, it's been such a roller coaster ride for us all, for the time spent on the side of the field supporting and cheering me on and being my biggest fans, following me to live out my dream. For this, I'll always be indebted to you all. To my partner, I don't even know where to start, but a massive thank you has to go to you. I know I've not always been the easiest person at times, but you have made me a better person, and for that, I'm truly grateful. So thank you. To my mates, you know who you are. You guys have always been there for me, whether it was for a chat, a beer, or a braai. You all have a special place in my heart. A big thank you all. You have no idea how much it has meant to me. To my sponsors I've had over the many years, again, a massive thank you to you all. Without the support and backing from you, my sponsors, making the life easier for me, I don't think I would have had the career I've had. A special mention has to go to Kookaburra family. You all have been there from day one. Since the age of 16, you were there for me. 20 years down the line, you're still there. And it's been an absolute honor to be associated with the Kookaburra family. For the love and support from the Bryan family, I'm truly grateful. A massive thank you for allowing me to have the best in the business. I also want to take the opportunity to thank Cricket South Africa for investing in me from an early age and giving me the honor of representing my country. I'm truly grateful for this opportunity I've received since under 18 to date. The Free State Cricket Union, Eagles and Knights, and Northerns Cricket Union, Mighty Titans, a big thanks for the opportunity to play for the respected teams. Great memories, a lot of trophies in the cabinet, and unbelievable memories have been created with an amazing teammates. To former coaches and former teammates, you all have played a big role in making me a cricketer I am today, from on field memories and off field moments. All this will always be in my memory of great fondness. To my current teammates, guys, you are all a part of me. There have been so many unforgettable memories shared with you all. A big thanks goes to you all, and a big good luck for the rest of your careers. Always fly the flag high and be the role models you are. Represent yourselves and the nation with utmost responsibility. Lastly, the fans and supporters out there, you all played an important part of my career. From ups and downs, you are still there to cheer me on. For this, I'll be grateful and will always remember the great times with you all. For now, I look forward to the series coming up and excited about what the future holds for me. CSA CEO Poletsi Maseke commented, "We would like to thank Dean for his services over the years. He has represented his country with honor and has been a real ambassador for Cricket South Africa, always playing with his heart on his sleeve. His grittiness and determination are two qualities that really stood out, and these are attributes that all South Africans can relate to. On behalf of everyone at CSA, we wish him well for the future." Director of Cricket Enoch Nkwe added, "Dean Elgar represents a rare brand of cricketer in an age where everything is about innovation and power hitting. He is a real old school cricketer that can dig in, absorb, and fight. I've no doubt the game will dearly miss him. He has always given everything for his country and never showed any fear, no matter the opposition. He was always there to take on a challenge, leading as captain when the country needed him most. Thank you, Dean, for all the memories." Ditto. I have to say ditto for that. Thank you for all the memories, Dean. I think that Dean Elgar was a phenomenal cricketer and a very important cricketer for South Africa. For a very long time, there weren't many stars in the team that were necessarily stepping up and performing, and Dean carried the team um, and really led from the front up top with a bat, toughing it out, taking a lot of blows for his country and for this nation and for this test team. And he was fantastic as a Protea for South Africa. I was hoping that he would maybe see one more series and maybe stay around until New Zealand, but unfortunately, he has decided to hang up his whites and say bye to Test cricket and to cricket. So it is a sad day for us as fans that are, especially the ones that are major fans of Dean Elgar. And we wish him all the best, obviously, for the future. But particularly, first and foremost, we start with the India series, a final tour for him to, put his stamp on this team and leave the next generation with something to build onto. So let's get into it, to this particular show and the preview. So first and foremost, we are going to be playing in Centurion. Now, Centurion is a place that we are all familiar with when it comes to Test cricket. We've played India there before as well, and it's something that we are used to. We played West Indies there at the beginning of the year or the end of last year as well, and did quite a great job in beating them and winning the series ultimately. So I think there is a lot of great positive things that South Africa can take from this particular series, because from this particular ground, because they have a good record here. It's a ground that they are familiar with, and a lot of the players in the side are familiar with. I just want to check the weather from Boxing Day. I know it's very far out. You can get an estimate. Yeah, so gonna be an interesting test match, and it's a great place to start. Let me just get your thoughts, guys, on Dean Elgar. DT saying, "Hey Khalid, how are you? I'm okay, bro. I hope you are well too. Didn't expect him to retire in the cycle, honestly." Uh, Tushar says he should go in the cycle, but I think he was not at the touch, so that is why he's retiring. Ngakali says, "Hi, first I'd like to congratulate Dean Elgar on um, a good career for South Africa. Opening the batting has never been easy, especially in SA, and he's done all right. Both shoes were always big to fill." CLNRE says it's a pity he did not stay until after the New Zealand tour. His experience in a team that will include a number of inexperienced players would have been useful. Titi says, I've just clocked that this means basically all of the guys from the squad that I grew up watching have retired. Dale Steyn, Morne Morkel, Big Vern, Kyle Abbott, not retired but might as well be mentioned. Otto says all is not well between Dean and Conrad. I'm not sure exactly what the relationship is like, so I don't want to comment on things I don't know. Shatil says Shukri basically forced Elgar into retirement. Guy didn't want to go so quick. This is what I call foolishness, especially when the guys won't play versus New Zealand. You need some experience. I don't know if that's true, guys. That's not my understanding of the situation, at least. Navneet asking Khalid, what is happening with this light? Khalid, is it a better fit for the test series? We don't have a confirmation on that yet. Stay tuned to cricketfanaticsmagazine.com and you'll get an update over there as soon as it is released. Alga's last piece of the great SA side. Tushar says, please discuss Team 11 first in first test. We will do that. Titi says, I hope we don't play against India the same way we did against the West Indies because we will get slaughtered, especially with those bogus decisions in the first test when they sent top order batsmen. Titi says, instead of night watchman. Chatil says, nobody wants to retire after getting thrashed by New Zealand with the development side. Alga would have gladly stayed this cycle. Conrad apparently said Alga isn't in their future. Plans, says Shatil. Otto says Bayer, Hatsia, Ferdin. So yeah, that's that. So let me get into the match and let's discuss what we'd like to see from this test series. So it's going to be interesting. This is the test squad that is available to us. We know that currently Lungingiri is injured and Kagiso Rabada is injured, and we're not sure about their availability at this moment. But I still think that this is a very good side, a very good squad that we have available to us. Now, there's going to be major questions asked about certain things when it comes to this particular. There's going to be certain things that are going to be interesting with regards to certain players in the side. So first and foremost, Dean and Aiden will open the batting. We can almost basically confirm that will probably happen. Then at 3 is the question. Are we going to go with Tony De Zorzi at 3? I think we probably will, given that he did bat there previously. So Tony De Zorzi at 3 and his incredible form at the moment. Then at 4, we have Aiden Markham. At 4, we've got Temba Bavuma. Then it's the interesting number 5 spot. Do we go with Keegan Peterson? Do we go with David Bedingham? Because number 5 is going to be very interesting because we also have Tristan Stubbs available. So that's another option that we can look at. But if you're going to go on recent form in the SAA tour and you're going to go compared to recent form in other competitions, you have to make a decision on which one you're going to go with. At the moment, I think that Keegan Peterson, based on the SAA side, is a little bit more in form. And they'll probably go with Keegan Peterson also based on his form in the last test series against India. So I think that Keegan Peterson will probably bat at 5. Even though I would like to see David Bedingham play. So if it was my choice, I would want to try David Bedingham because in the last series, Keegan Peterson got opportunities against the West Indies and never really never really played that well. So I would go with David Bedingham because I would like to see what he can do and test him early on. At number 6, I'll go with Carl Verreynne. From personally. Then at 7 is an interesting one. At 7, I would go with an extra batter, in Tristan Stubbs. Let's just give those two newbies an opportunity, I think. It's particularly at Centurion, where I don't think necessarily spin is going to play a factor, really. At 8, I'll go with Marco Jansen. 9, I'll go with Gerald Coetzee. 10, I'll go with Nandre Berger. And 11, I'll go with Kagiso Rabada. That would be my team. And I know that teams generally like a spinner, but that will be weather dependent. I think it will be conditions dependent. At the moment, I'm sitting with an all-seam attacking Centurion as a preference, but it's always nice to have one spinner, and it will be, I think, weather dependent. Not weather dependent, conditions dependent, whether they play Keshav Maharaj. And then the question will be, who do they take out of the team for Keshav Maharaj? We will probably then drop a batter and bat Marco at 7, and then have Keshav at 8. That will most likely, or at 9. That will most likely be the way if that happens. But me personally, I would like to see that 7 batter for a change and see what they can do and really put on a massive score against India. Having 7 batters will give us the best opportunity to do so. I think that's an adaptable lineup. I think it's a strong lineup. Let's see if that happens. I'm predicting and presuming. I don't know what the coach is thinking. I haven't had a chat with him, but it is possible for us to see Keegan Peterson in this team at 5. So I want to know what your 11s are. Put the 11s in the live chat and I'll read them out. It will be very interesting to know who you guys think should play. Fidos has written today that ESPN Cricket understands that Elgar was informed that he was not part of Red Bull coach Shukri Conrad's long-term plans. By the way, guys, it's 32 degrees, 33 degrees, 28 degrees, 29 degrees, and 27 degrees for the test series. So it's going to be very, very hot throughout the period. So oh wait, I'm lying. I'm reading the wrong date here. On the 26th, it's going to rain. According to AccuWeather. On the 26th, day 1 is going to rain. 26th December looks like it's going to rain, yeah. Just to show, let me show you guys the weather report so that you guys can look at it with me. Oopsie, I'm pressing the wrong buttons here. And then I'll read out your 11. So now it's your times to get your 11s in the live chat. So long. But yeah, as you can see over here, 26th, it's going to... Oh, stop clicking on it. The 26 is going to rain. 22, 25 is going to be a little bit overcast, it seems like. Then 26th and the 27th, 29th and the 28th. Sorry, 26 is going to rain. 27th and 28th is going to be a little overcast and cloudy. 29, it's going to be sunny. And 30 on the last day. So very interesting. There's going to be thunder the day before, or lightning and thunder the day before the test. So going to be very, very interesting. Might get a little bit of swing in Centurion. Don't normally get a lot of swing in Centurion or in those type in the Highveld, but generally speaking, the weather isn't looking great for the first day, according to the AccuWeather. I just want to go check Fidosa's article on Dean Elgar and just have a quick squeeze to see what she said. Dean Elgar, South Africa's former test captain and stalwart opening battle, will play his international series against India. Elgar, 36, announced his decision to retire from international cricket, blah, 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 blah. Gave his quotes. ESPN Cricket Info understands that Elgar was informed that he was not part of Red Bull coach Shukri Conrad's long-term plans. He has been linked with Essex as an overseas player for the 2024 season. Um, okay, that's what ESPN Cricket Info is for. So long-term plans, um, which to an extent makes sense because we want to blood youngsters into the team now. So to an extent, it makes sense. Maybe, yeah, Monda reported this, maybe premature and assuming, but I get a feeling um, Conrad will rub the players the wrong way in his coaching stint. I don't think so at all. Um, okay, let's read out your teams. Tusha says 11 will be Alga, Markram, Dezorzi, Keegan, Pavuma. Those two must swap. Carl, Mulder, Janssen, Kutsia, Maharaj, and Rabada. You have to go with Mulder so he provides batting. Neil Brandt is our future, says Otto. Ali says clock. I hope I said that right. You must tell me how to, now you're going to let me know how to pronounce your name. Uh, Chatil says Alga, Markram, De Zorzi, Bavuma, Keegan, Benningham, Kyle, Janssen, Kutsia, Rabada, Berger. Khalid, brother, who is your number 3 in test? Tony De Zorzi. Chatil says, is the lack of experience in the test batting lineup a major concern going ahead? Aiden is the most experienced guy and just come back to his side versus West Indies match. Um, well, Dean Elgar's in this team in this series at least. It's about the next test after that we're going to be looking at. But Calvin Reina, Keegan Peterson, Temba Bavuma, I don't think it's as inexperienced as we think. I think it is a lot more settled than we think. I think these players are up for the task. I really do. I believe in them and what they can offer. M. Sabir says, Alga, Markram, sorry, when is Lungi and Nokia expected back? We are not 100% certain when that will be. We haven't heard any updates from Cricket South Africa quite yet. And Kali says, Alga, Markram, Dezorzi, Bedingham, Pavuma, Varane, Mulder, Janssen, Maharaj, Kutia, and Berger. Shatil says, Bakhali, you need some experienced players for these young guys to learn from. Can't have all batsmen be young. International cricket is very challenging. I haven't seen a SA side this inexperienced. But the last SA side was experienced against the West Indies. And remember, Alga's only retiring after this test series. So they've got this test series to learn from him. And to rub shoulders with him and try to get all the experience that they get from him. Because the only time we're going to play again is in New Zealand, and that team is going to be a whole completely different new team. So when is the future plans and we're looking down the line, the rebuild should start after the New Zealand series, shouldn't it? We should be blooding young talent into the side. And build, I think that Kyle Verreynne now has been amongst the side a little bit. It's the last chance to learn from Dean Elgar. We've got Tony Dezorzi, last chance to learn from Dean Elgar, and he's been with Dean Elgar at the Titans, so he knows him from there. So these players would have learned from Dean and been around him before. And we've got Temba and we've got, yeah, that's kind of it. So there isn't much other options really. It's not like we have a choice. All the other players have retired. Quentin de Kock, all of them have retired. So we don't really have. I'm talking long term, not about one series. Bowling department has KG and Giri to learn from. Can't say the same for batting except Pavuma. Yeah, but I'm trying to logic it out here because after the New Zealand tour, um, that's like a whole 6-7 months down the line, you know. Um, I think I have it on the on our website, the FTP. So After India, we got New Zealand, and then we only play in May again against the West Indies. And it won't be test matches, it will be three T20s. Then July, three ODIs, and then August, we've got only August we play we have a tour of the West Indies in two test matches. So that's a whole year away almost. Clock, you can call me Clock. Who's next in line? Joshua Richardson and Edward Moore spring to mind. Jordan Herman, perhaps. We could even go with Tony DeZorzi as an opener with Aiden Markham up top, because Tony opens for Western Province in the domestic scene. So that's an option as well. And then you can move people up the order, Tristan Stubbs can bat at 4, perhaps. Keegan Peterson can bat at 3. Stubbs can bat at 4. I mean, Pavuma can bat at 4. Stubbs at David Bellingham at 5. Stubbs at 6 or Stubbs at 7. I don't know. You can move Stubbs around if you want to as well, possibly. But we could go with Tony opening, Aiden opening with him, and then 3 with Keegan Peterson, 4 with Temba Bavuma, 5 with David Bellingham, 6 with Kyle Verreynne. And then 7 can be an extra batter, or we can go with the all-rounders as we see fit, Vian Mulder, etc., whatever we decide. So there are options. And then I think next in line after that, we need to find some consistency. Eddie Moore's done decently at the moment this season. If I just look at the openers in the country and who's done well, I mean, Joshua Richards, yes. We need a little bit more consistency from him, though. Recently, Zubair Hamza's in great form, 100 for New Zealand, 98 for the Lions previously, and then 100 today. So he's in incredible form. He could come back into the mix again. I saw Sarel Eerwe also hit a ton today. So there are some guys in the domestic scene putting up their hands and knocking on the door again. We have options to build, but the problem is that's New Zealand tour. We don't have that as a stepping stone to rebuild. It's almost like a series write-off and then rebuild again. But it's a perfect opportunity for new guys like Zubair Hamza and all of those guys to put up their hand and say, look here, coach, I can be a solution for one of the spots that are available. So that tour to New Zealand is going to be very key for our redevelopment, because the Future Tour program, according to the Future Tour program, we only play in August test matches again. So that's a very long time out. So that's the situation we are sitting in. So I've read all of your guys' comments and I've read all of your guys' 11s. I've given you my 11. I've spoken to you about the weather report. We've spoken about Dean Elgar's retirement as well. So we've covered every single topic. Chatil says, Khalid, if Neil Brunt is going to be the captain in New Zealand in opening, shouldn't he at least be in the squad here? Guy's going to be pushed to the Wolves without time around the side. I think that the whole squad is going to be pushed to the Wolves. Dean Elgar and Aiden Markram are 2 best players. I don't think giving him game time here would be smart when you have your 2 best openers available. Clock says Ryan Rickleton also has to come back to this team. He has to. He's a good player. Yeah, and he needs to get some more consistency again domestically in 4-day cricket and really knock down the door. Because, I mean, Kyle Verreynne at the moment has been knocking down the door. Should have never been dropped in the first place, in my opinion. So that's the situation and scenario we're sitting with. Ryan Rickleton is good, and I don't deny that. But his form this season hasn't been the same as last season. 112, 13, 58, 11, 41, and 3, and 5. That's been his scores so far this season. So in first class cricket, in his last 4 games. List A form from what I have here, which is from the Lions VP game 6, didn't bat. 50 against the Warriors, 36 against Boerland, in Paul, 52 against Northwest in Potchefstroom, 41 not out in Johannesburg against the Titans. So those are his scores recently in List A cricket as well. So he hasn't been in the best of form. He hasn't had the best of seasons this season, compared to like a Calvarino who's now backed up last season with a season as well with great form. So I never thought that Calvarino should have been dropped in the first place. That was always my opinion. I thought he should have played, especially. But now he's going to really be tested against an Indian side that is very talented. Siraj is hoping for Bedingham and Nande Burger debut in the Test series against India. Siraj, you can give me your 11 and drop it in a live chat, and I would like to know what you think. Arunka says Dean Elgar replacement in your opinion. I think that Tony Rizorzi could open the batting. He's opened the batting for Western Province before. I know he's a number 3 batter for VP. No, wait, he does open the batting for VP. Yes, he opens the batting for VP. So there's no reason why we can't open the batting for South Africa. I don't think there's any reason why he can't. He didn't come off the best of form against the West Indies A, and he did open for the West South Africa A as well. So Tony Rizorzi is my opener, and he's a left-hander too. So rotating the strike is brilliant as well. Chatil says, do you agree with Neil Drunslex's in test as an opener? He's going to be medium term at the least, considering he'll be captain in New Zealand. There weren't many options to pick from. And out of the bunch, Neil Bunt was the best option to go for. From a form perspective, from experience perspective, and everything. So I don't think Neil Brandt will be in line to replace Dean Elgar, I don't think, unless he does something remarkable in New Zealand and does something remarkable again in domestic cricket. I do think that Tony Rizorzi will be the next opener for South Africa in Test cricket with Aiden Markram. I think that those two will be the opening pair. And I actually like that thought because of the way Tony Rizorzi plays the game, the way he approaches the game. So for me personally, that's what I think, in my opinion, that's what I think will happen with regards to the Test openers and who will replace Dean. I think it will be Tony. Tony does open for, like I said, I repeated myself, Tony does open for his franchise. Suraj is Elgar, Marker and Keegan, Timba, Bedingham, Verreina, Jansen, Kutsia, Maharaj, Rabada if fit. Mapungwana is replacing for KG if not fit, and Andre Berger. Mapungwana is not in the squad, in the Test squad. He was in the SA squad. So who else would he be picking? Suraj instead of Mapungwana? Because Mapungwana is not in the squad. You mean if Rabada is not fit, calling up Mapungwana would be your option? Then that's an interesting statement that you're making. Khalid, so what would you say is the line of succession for Elgar? I think it's Dean. I think it's Tony. And then Tony will bat for a couple of years for South Africa. And then we'll find someone next. Jordan Herman, perhaps, who's still very young, could be knocking down that door. It will then depend on who's performing domestically really well. Brandt should replace Dean, says Tex. Yes, Hardy brother. Okay, thank you for confirming. Neil is an ideal replacement for Dean, not Rizorzi, says Otto. In my opinion, I think Rizorzi would be a good opener for South Africa. No brainer, Elgar should be replaced by Tony Rizorzi, and he is future captain after Aiden Markram, Suraj. Chatil says, man, feel for KG if he misses the series versus India. He is the only realistic option after Ashwin to get 500 wickets for the final time. Don't see another player getting 500 wickets again in Test cricket, says Chatil. We're hoping that KG, if he's available and fired up for the series, we really need him really badly. I'm excited because Test cricket is starting, and I love Test cricket. It's my favorite format. I love watching Test cricket and seeing the battles and analyzing it and talking about it and talking about the weather condition, the pitches, etc. I love it. Clark says, I'm really worried about the New Zealand tour. There aren't too many options, and those who are available are off form. Ranavan Tonda will probably be on the plane. Marcus Ackerman, maybe? Marcus Ackerman is doing really well for the Dolphins at the moment. He's been doing really excellently for the Dolphins. And I know that Coach Shukri Conrad is a big fan of his. So if he starts knocking down that door, if he starts knocking on the door and putting on performances, we could see him in the squad, in and around the squad very soon, perhaps. We mustn't forget about him. I mean, he scored 140 recently. Previously, he hasn't had 100. He got 97 previously in the first class games in March. Hasn't really done consistently really well at the beginning of the tournament. But since then, 72 in a List A game against Western Province, and then 67 against the Boland, and then 140 against Lions. So he's coming into great form at the moment at the latter stage of the first class competition. So interesting to see. So Raj says, if KG played another 100 games, he can break all the bowling records. Will KG's body be able to handle that, is the question. Dex, Suraj, let the Josie cement his place in the side first. Then we should talk about the captaincy. We all know what happened with Yanaman Malan. Suraj Campbell says, Marcus Ackerman scores really quickly in the domestic 4-day series. That's plus point. Otto says, don't jump the gun with the Zorzy. TT says, good assessment, Khalid. I would have hoped Rickleton would also be there in the future with Tony. Rickleton is a good option, but we saw that Rickleton was batting in the lower positions, not as the opener. He was batting as 5 in the Test series. At the moment, there are plenty of players knocking on the door for that particular position. But I think Ryan Rickleton needs to go away and score some runs again, domestically again. Put up his hand again. It is a bit sad what's been happening with him. We all thought that he was going to be backed and pushed into the side and backed and given an extended run, but that's not the case. That hasn't been the case in recent times. He didn't look that great against the West Indies, unfortunately, which was a really sad thing to see. And when you look at the stats of top performers this season, luckily Dean's coming off an average of 60 from the first last game, so he's really in good touch for the series. I hope he really bats extremely well and helps us get a victory in his final Test series. What is going on here, man? Come on now. Let me just have a look here, Ryan Rickleton, where he's on the list in this 4-day competition so far. So he's sitting currently at 21 on the list of scorers, 5 games, currently playing his 5th game, 263 runs. He averages 37, only 100 and 150 this season. So that's been his season so far in his 5 matches that he's played. Compared to the likes of Carl Verreynne, who's played 3 games, 1 century, 2 50s, at an average of 68 in 3 games. Then we have Zubair Hamza now, 200s and 250s so far this season. Average of 79, doing really well. Deva Breve is doing very well with 200s and 250s. That's another player that could be knocking down the door, but I think he needs 2 seasons in domestic cricket to prove his worth. So that's also something that's very interesting. Deva Breve is doing good now in the 4-day domestic competition. Now scored 200s now, back to back. Duplessis should get a nod soon, says Macmillan. John Duplessis, he's a very good player, and I would like to see him get a Division 1 contract, have a season, and then let's see. SR in danger of losing the series to India, says Arvind. Harley brother Dean Forrester also doing very good for Knights. The guy also scored hundreds, and he's batting at number 3. He's also quality, very quality, but we would like to see him in the first division, and then we can start talking about him. Isha won't get a better chance to make the WTC finals, even better than last time, considering away fixtures aren't as tough. New Zealand series is such a shame. Otto says, even if we lose the New Zealand series, we can still make the WTC finals. Clark says, Harley, what happened to Peter Malan? That 84 against England in Cape Town filled me so much with so much hope. Yeah, after that 84, I thought he would get more games, but they went a different direction and went with Sarel Erwe after that. Peter Malan just wasn't looked at again. He hasn't been doing the best at domestic level this current season. To give you the facts, where he currently sits on the log, he sits 59th on the log, but he's only played 2 games, 110 runs, no 50s or 100. So, been a struggle to get into that side, or I don't know if he's been struggling with injuries or what's been happening there. We're looking at Janneman over here as well, 250s, 4 games, average of 24 this season in first class cricket. David Bedingham averages 64 in 3 matches with 350s. Hasn't scored 100 yet this season in the first class competition. Suraj says, 100% man, he's a proper talent, really did well against India. DT says, when you put it like that, Hardy, yeah, he definitely needs to rack up the runs. But the good thing is we clearly have a wealth of options in a way. We do. That's the great thing about South African cricket at the moment. I think there's a lot of talent. The talent runs are very deep, in my opinion. Harley, do you see us making 400 plus in any of the innings in the Test series? Given the weather conditions now in Centurion, I think it's going to be a little bit tough to score 400 plus for any team. We have to see what happens in Newlands. Perhaps we could get close in Newlands. I don't know. We're going to have to see how this team plays. It's a new, fresh combinations that we're going to be seeing. Marco and Andre. This is Otto. Okay. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click that notification bell for all future videos. I'd also like you guys to please subscribe to Cricket Fanatics Magazine Monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. Link is on the screen as well as in the description. And I want you guys, I just want to wish you guys all a very Merry Christmas, because you won't see me again until after Christmas, because Saturday and Sunday there's no stream. So I hope you guys enjoy your Christmas. Have a Happy New Year, and have as well. But I'll send you Happy New Year messages, obviously closer to New Year's. But Merry Christmas to everybody, and I hope you guys have an excellent Christmas and with your friends and family, and really enjoy it. And I hope that you don't go too overboard with the eating and the drink and etc. But have fun, enjoy yourselves, and I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Take care. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the rest of your evening, guys. Thanks for joining me on the show today, keeping me company. And I'll see you guys very, very soon. Peace out, everyone.